Okay, so we have the Stage 1 Essential English Offensive Language task. Your task is to select two texts that will be chosen either from the list that is just down here or one of your own that is approved by the teacher. So the list here, we will be going through most, if not all of these in class. And the questions here are what we are going to be responding to in our task. So we have a video here that we'll be focusing on. It's the one used in my exemplar, so it is important that you do not use this video in your assignment. It's just an example. Okay, so this video is a mock tutorial about how Australians speak, and people in India working in call centres wanting to understand how Australians speak, so when they call them up, they'll be able to relate to them better. But it's done in a fairly funny way. So I'll just show you a few bits and pieces. So we're going to be using Otter Ai in order to record some of our answers in this example. So this is an option. Now, this does require you to sign up. However, once you have signed up, you will be able to get in there and use this website to record what you are saying. So if I just pop on here, you'll notice that it automatically starts recording what I'm saying straight away. So you can imagine how much easier this might be when you are trying to get your assignment done, but getting that writing onto your screen or onto your page just isn't as easy as you would like it to be. Now, what we need to refer to here are these questions, okay? So we've got 2 in the introduction, we've got 3 in the middle here, and you'll need to look at each 3 of these in the text that you have chosen, the 2 texts that you've chosen. And then you need to look at comparing and analysing the 2 texts in your conclusion. So today we'll just focus on these 3 questions. Okay, so we're looking at, firstly, how this text relates to offensive language. What is the purpose of offensive language being used and or discussed in this text? And what impact does the offensive language have and why? So you can see all that I just said already there, okay? So the first question, I am going to talk about how this text relates to offensive language. So as I mentioned previously, the text is about the way Australians use offensive language in everyday life. And in this mock tutorial, which is kind of making fun of the way Australians use language, is in a mock tutorial which helps Indian call centre workers understand that language and be able to use it in order to connect with the people they're calling. Now, you can already see here that I'm kind of going, I'm trying to think as I speak. And this program here allows you to kind of take the time to think and get your thoughts out. Then you can grab these words and you can put it into your assignment, and that's the way it's done. Okay, so to finish off that first question about how this relates to offensive language. So the video is relating to offensive language because it's referring to specific terms that Australians are known to use and the way that they are used in order to be friendly rather than offensive. And some of these terms like dickhead and sheepshagger are some typical examples that you see pop up there. Our second question, we pop up here, I've already said it. So it is, what is the purpose of the language being used or discussed in this text? So the purpose of the language being discussed in this text is to be understood by the people trying to learn it, and for them to understand the context that it is used in. So if we look at the term that comes up, which is Jimmy Grant, it is explained that this is a slang term to refer to an immigrant because it basically rhymes there. It doesn't necessarily go into the fact that this term may be used offensively. It is just making sure that these future call centre workers are able to understand and relate to that, and possibly try and attempt to connect in terms of humour. Now, there are other terms like there are other terms like sheepshagger, dickhead, arsewipe, and I guess the purpose of using some of these terms in this text is because the people who are learning these are very, very unfamiliar with these terms. So it's a way to kind of help them understand how ridiculous these terms are. Now, we also have some moments in this video that involve people talking about Australian culture in general, and it shows Australian culture in a really ignorant way. So, for example, talking about how racist Australians are, how to use a boomerang, and also why a baby kangaroo is called Joey and why its mum does not get a name. So I think that this is making fun of the ignorance that Australians have about other cultures around the world. Now, we're also going to talk about the impact that the language has in this particular video. So I think the point of this video is that it seems that some of this language doesn't have any impact because the participants in the video are just wanting to learn as much as they can in order to be successful workers in the call centres. So nobody really reacts to some of the terms that pop up, particularly some of the quite offensive ones, and people are trying to adopt these terms as seen in the beginning of the video when people are talking to each other on the phone and calling each other offensive things, but in a friendly way. It shows that they are trying to use the language in the same friendly way that Australians are doing it. So there you have it. I've answered those 3 questions in a fairly general way. You can see here that once I copy and paste this, I'm going to have to do a lot of editing, but that's absolutely okay. I would prefer to have lots of words on a page rather than having to sit here and stare at my screen and write maybe 15 words per 15 minutes or hour or whatever is happening there. So if you are really good at talking and not shutting up like I am, I know at least some of you are, this is going to be a really helpful option for you.